Dr. G. This is my presentation for our final. I really enjoyed the class and just learning about this because a lot of this stuff, like I've previously said in some reflections, this is some stuff that I've talked about with a sports psychologist before, and just I really believe in the benefit of using sports psychology as a tool to better help ourselves. So a lot of the stuff that we talked about, I made sure I write down, and I've been trying throughout the fall and the winter. And I really think just this extra time, this class, aside from my 15 minutes of mental stuff that I do every night, I really do think this class has helped. So this is my presentation. I hope you enjoy it. I really enjoyed this class and having you as a professor. And I know my girlfriend really likes you as a person too. So I appreciate that too. So this is my presentation, Improving Performance as a Collegiate Pitcher Using Sports Psychology, obviously by Cody New. Here we go. There we go. So my target population has been the collegiate pitcher. Some reasoning behind that, as a collegiate pitcher myself, I feel I have the experience and takeaways that I could use in a real world sense. Like I've always found it not necessarily easier because you don't have to have the experience to be a great coach or a great professor, a great teacher, whatever the instance may be. But I think it can be a helpful tool. Um, I kind of like this pitcher, Reed Detmer's left-handed pitcher like myself. I really liked him at Louisville, and he is on the Angels too, so that's cool. I've got to see him pitch a few times. So this has been my population throughout our cap assignments and our reflections. Some external influences affecting performance. Motivation. The four that I chose is motivation, stress, competition, and feedback. So motivation can be either driven through intrinsic or extrinsic factors. Some examples for intrinsic, the love of the game. That's what drives me. Um, I couldn't imagine a world without it. Um, it's when that time comes, it's going to be tough for me to let it go. Some external factors or extrinsic factors. Fighting for scholarships nowadays, even NIL money, which that's a whole different topic that I want to get started on. But and career goals. Obviously, my goal is to play professional baseball, so that's a pretty big drive for me. Um, some ways that motivation's affected by the physical environment, social environment, and family culture. Um, Good example of a physical environment, to make it short, is the training facilities. Um, Here at CBU, we are extremely blessed to have great facilities. Like sometimes we go on the road, or even going up to Alaska this summer. You get to really cherish how we've been blessed here at CBU. Um, Social environment, coaches and teammates. That's a big one. Um, just being around the game a long time, from a lot of going to be talking a lot about personal stuff. Sorry about that, but I just think it's easier for me to get my point across. Being around the game long enough, I've seen a lot of really good players either transfer out or leave, or just even quit baseball just because there's some toxicity there. There's just all kinds of different things, and that's a very big, I might even say probably overarching biggest factor of collegiate baseball players is the social environment. That's why it's important to find a great place to play. And one day when I'm a sports psychologist, that'll be one of one of the main things I really touch on. And of course, family culture. Um, there's certain families that emphasize effort, and there's some that they cherish the outcomes. That's another thing that's especially younger adolescent years. A lot of teammates seeing parents being really hard on them. Even if they had a good day, just one play. Uh, that's another big thing. So next up is stress. Especially as a student athlete, balancing academics, athletics, and personal life creates pressure. I know for me, there's not a lot of athletes that have a sports psychology major and a minor. So I find it a little bit tough, especially with baseball. We're on a pretty rigorous schedule, and I know I get to bore my girlfriend with all kinds of stuff, but I know she feels the same way, especially with her personal life, nursing school, etc., whatever. It's tough for us, but that's why I really like this assignment because it's teaching me, grooming me to one day when I open up my own practice or be a be a sports psychologist for a college or professional organization. This will help me. Um, Physical environment, quality facilities, so training room, recovery room, whatever, and of course CPU athletics. Great quality facilities, training room, hot tub, cold tub, trainers on standby. We have doctors, chiropractors starting to come in, all kinds of different stuff. Um, it's a huge thing. Not a lot of people have great ones. It's just kind of again going back to the same theme of finding a good place to play, finding a place that feels like home, has everything that meets your needs. Social environment, team dynamics, and coaching style. So some ways that could lead to stress. Team dynamics. They kind of go back and forth together. Um, Coaching style if the coaches push competition, um, like so and so and so and so are competing for the spot. If you're not careful with how you take that and how you mentally put that in your subconscious, that can create some stress, battling for a position, being afraid to strike out, being afraid to throw strikes, stuff like that. Goes up and down. And family culture, um, having a very supportive family is a big blessing. But if you don't have a very supportive family, high expectations, perfectionism, etc., those can increase the stress. Competition, feedback, and collegiate baseball, my other two, four factors. Competition uh, drives improvement, but varies on certain things: physical environment, social environment, family culture for the three of them, elite training, limited resources. So I put a picture of Tennessee, Tony Vitello, um, the player's coach. I mean, I'm sure you've seen videos. He just it's all about for the next point, team unity. Like that dude, there's a reason why they've been doing very well these last few years. But it also has to come down to elite training. Um, they're ranked third on whatever you want to call it, NIL or whatever. So they pour a lot of money into the baseball program, a lot of money, and that helps the competition. But it's baseball; anyone can win at any time. So that's some helpful tips I would give. Social environment, I kind of touched on it earlier. Team unity or toxic cutthroat culture. Um, yeah, there's it's about finding that healthy balance of creating unity or creating ununity, and that isn't necessarily completely on the coach. Um, it could be team to team, player to player. Some more teams are more unified, other teams are not unified because there's a few certain individuals that promote toxic culture. And then finally, family culture, kind of like kind of like the last slide. Family can push you, encourage you, or they could add pressure by, let's say, as an example, you're not on a scholarship, your family's paying for college. If they don't see growth, they don't see outcomes that they like, they might tell you, well, we don't want to put you through baseball anymore. Like just go to community college. So that's another thing that could add some pressure. And finally, feedback. Feedback is I personally love feedback. Even though I prefer old school approaches and stuff like that. It's all about the coaches. Positive feedback. Coaches can provide technical and psychological guidance, while teammates contribute constructive criticism. There's always the flip side, going back to toxic culture, toxic coaching, toxic facilities, all kinds of things. It's all pro and cons. It all is the overarching theme of finding a good place to play. Finally, family culture. um, growth oriented versus outcome focused. Um, like last year, I had a not a great year, not what I liked, not the expectations I had for myself, not the expectations coaches, team, whatever had for themselves, and I was pretty torn by it. And I'm super blessed to have a great family and a great supporting staff to where it's all about growth oriented. Um, Girlfriend, family, always pushing me, always telling me that this day's better than the next day, and I think that's what has helped me. Outcome and performance goals for collegiate pitchers. Some outcome goals that I set. I gotta go a little bit quicker here. I've been rambling on. Sorry about that. I put a picture of Tom House, pretty much the father of modern baseball pitchers. He wrote a great book with Nolan Ryan and Greg Maddux that I've read numerous times. He's really the father of it. So some outcome goals I put: walk fewer batters. It'll help the team's chance to win. A strategy, bullpen work. Something that I've been doing in my personal life is getting to 0-2, 1-2 callouts quickly to gain better count advantage. Another one, control body language, improve pre-pitch focus, find your reset, find your breathing, find that good tempo, review game film to assess body language. So if you have bad body language, the best way is to see it with your own eyes. You probably will get kind of disgusted by that. So, like I said, reset breathing, manage emotions. Some performance goals: throw 80 plus innings a year. That is hard, especially in today's game where the leash is shorter. Um, some ways to help that: work legs twice a week and strengthen arm muscles with some rehab sessions in the training room, focusing on those secondary muscles, making sure your hamstrings and quads are both dominant because that's where the energy comes from. And then finally, get to the sixth inning after 90 pitches. They used to call it a Greg complete game, but sadly, that's just not really how baseball's trending nowadays. Um, a good strategy is you want to be fastball dominant when you're being efficient like that. Just middle up the fastballs. If you have a problem with being too perfect, getting to an edge, or getting up, getting down, let's just throw it right down the middle. Uh, your stuff will win, your stuff plays. So that's a good, helpful tip. Some process goals and goal setting. I put a picture of habit share. It's something that I've used pretty much for about 8 months. It's something that completely changed my routine day to day, something I even got my girlfriend to do. I highly recommend it to anyone. So the process goals: throw a long toss 3 times a week. This will help build arm strength and endurance. While it is a lot of throwing, you got to vary your distances to avoid overuse while improving strength. Um, and mental training, 15 minutes daily. Some goal setting in athletics that helps athletes stay focused and motivated even through setbacks. That's from our book. Some common mistakes while goal setting: fear of failure. That's something that I've dealt with. And unrealistic timelines. Got to be realistic with your goals. Can't get drafted when you're not draft eligible. You can't throw strikes when you're not even in the game. So, some helpful tips. Psychology and theology. Um, some stuff that I feel like bounce back from each other from a biblical worldview. Motivation and goal setting. It's very important. Psychology, obviously, and in Ephesians, it calls us to live purposely. And I feel like a good purpose is establishing routine. So, in like my daily routine, I have my quiet time with God, I have my Bible reading. That all goes into my routine that's helped me. Strength and resilience. Um, Talks about being resilient. Psychology, pitching, it's hard. Baseball's a game of failure. And First Peter reminds us to cast our anxieties on God. So that's something I do when I'm on the mound. Supportive relationships. Parental, girlfriend, anything like that, the Bible notes of importance. And a biblical worldview encourages individuals to see their value as created in God's image from Genesis 1:27. It's a good reminder to reevaluate your self-esteem and mental health. Some takeaways. I really like the DIC. I've only taken the test and never really got to be hands-on with it, so that's something I really liked. And I kind of touched on it at the front end of the presentation, all the stuff I've used in my real life. So I really, really appreciate this class. Here's the reference page. I really appreciate it, Dr. G. Thank you.